picture always ends with you and me. There are times that you need to look a little deeper down inside. You might not always like the things you find. You may find you're running out of time. But the truth is always there for you to find. There's an angel watching over me. We've got angels. The candle burns and I can see. There's an angel watching over me.
What bloody man is that? He can report, as seen by his plight, of the revolt, the new estate.
It's Seaton, who, like a good and hardy soldier, fought against my captivity. Hail, brave friend, say the knowledge of the broilers thou didst leave it.
Doubtful it stood, as two spent swimmers that do cling together and choke their art. The merciless MacDonald, worthy to be a rebel, for to that the multiplying villainies of nature do swarm upon him. From the western isles of kerns and gallows glasses is supplied, and fortune on his damned quarrels smiling, showed like a rebel's whore. But all's too weak, for brave Macbeth, well he deserves that name, disdaining fortune, with his brandished steel, which smoked with bloody execution. Like Valor's minion, carved out his passage till he faced the slave, which ne'er shook hands, nor bade farewell to him, till he unseamed him from the nave to the chaps, and fixed his head upon our battlements.
O valiant, worthy gentleman.
As whence the sun gins his reflection, shipwrecking storms and direful thunders break, so from that source whence comfort seemed to come, discomfort swells. No sooner justice had with valor armed, compelled these skipping curds to trust their heels. But surveying vantage, with furbished arms and new supplies of men, began a fresh assault.
Dismayed not this Macbethan banquet.
Yes, they doubly redoubled strokes upon the foe, but I am faint. My gashes cry for help.
So well thy words become ye as thy wounds. They smack of honour both. Go get insurgents. Who comes here?
The worthy Thane of Ross.
What a haste look through her eyes. So should she look that seems to speak things strange, whence comest thou, worthy Thane?
From Fife, where the enemy's banners flouch the sky and fan our people cold. With terrible numbers, assisted by that most disloyal traitor, the Thane of Cawdor, began a dismal conflict, till that Bellona's bridegroom, Lapton Crew, confronted him with self-comparisons, point against point Roelius, arm against arm, curbing his lavish spirit. And to conclude, the victory fell on us.
Great happiness. No more that Thane of Cawdor shall deceive our bosom interest. Go pronounce his present death, and with his former title, Greek Macbeth.
I'll see it done.
What he hath lost, noble Macbeth hath won.
Where hast thou been? Cowan swine.
Sister, where thou?
Look what I have.
Surely,
surely. Here I have a pirate's thumb. Rectus over here. Macbeth.com. Weird sisters.
Hand in hand.
Posters of the sea and land.
Mystical about.
Thrice to dine and thrice to mine. And thrice again to make up nine. Peace!
The charms wander.
So foul and fair, they I have not seen.
What are these, so withered and so wild in their attire, that look not like the inhabitants of the earth and yet are on it? Live you, or are you aught that man may question? You seem to understand me by each your chappy finger laying upon your skinny lips. You ought to be women, but your beards forbid me to interpret that you are so.
Speak if you can. What are you?
All hail Macbeth, Thane of Glarn.
All hail Macbeth, Thane of Cawdor.
All hail Macbeth. Thou shalt be king thereafter.
Good sir, why do you start and seem to fear things that do sound so fair? In the name of truth, i.e. fantastical, or that which outwardly ye show, my noble partner you greet with present grace and great prediction of noble having and of royal hope, that he seems rapt withal. To me, you speak not. If you can look into the seeds of time and say which grain will grow and which will not, speak then to me, who neither begs nor fears your favours nor your hate.
Hail, hail, hail. Lesser than Macbeth. And greater.
Not so happy, yet much happier.
Thou shalt get kings, though thou be none.
So all hail Macbeth and Banquo.
Banquo and Macbeth. All hail.
Stay, you imperfect speakers, tell me more. By Simmel's death I know I am Thane of Glamis, but how of Cawdor? The Thane of Cawdor lives, a prosperous gentleman, and to be king stands not within the prospect of belief no more than to be Cawdor. Say from whence you owe this strange intelligence, or why upon this blasted heath you stop our way with such prophetic greeting. Speak, I charge you.
The earth hath bubbles as the water does, and these are of them. Whither have they vanished?
Into the air, and that which seemed corporal melted as breath into the wind. Would they had stayed?
Were such things here that we do speak of, or have we eaten of the insane root that takes the reason prisoner?
Your children shall be kings.
You shall be king,
And Thane of Cawdor too, went it not so?
by the self-same tune and words. Who's here?
Duncan hath happily received Macbeth the news of thy success, and when he reads of thy personal venture into the rebels' fight, his wonders and his praises do contend, which should be thine or his. Silence with that, in viewing over the rest of the selfsame day, he finds thee in the stout ranks. Nothing afeard of what thyself did make, strange images of death. As thick as hail came post with post, and everyone did bear thy praises in his kingdom's great defence, and pour them down before him.
We are sent to give thee from our royal master thanks. Only to arrive thee into his sight, not pay thee.
And, for an earnest of the greater honour, he bade me from him call thee Thane of Cawdor. In which edition? Hail, most worthy Thane, for it is that.
What? Can the devil speak true?
The Thane of Cawdor lives. Why do you dress me in borrowed robes?
Who was the Thane of Cawdor lives yet, but on the heavy judgment spares that life which he deserves to lose. Whether he was combined with those, or did line the rebel with hidden help and vantage, or that with both he laboured in his country's wreck, I know not. But treason's capital confessed and proved have overthrown him.
Glamis and Thane of Cawdor. The greatest is behind. Thanks for your kings. Do you not hope your children shall be kings when those that gave the Thane of Cawdor to me promised no less to them?
that trusted home might yet enkindle you unto the crown, besides the Thane of Cawdor. But 'tis strange, for oftentimes, to win us to our harms, the instruments of darkness do tell us truths. They win us with honest trifles, only to betray us in deepest consequence. Cousins, a word, I pray you.
Two truths are told, as happy prologues to the swelling act of the imperial fee. Cannot be ill, cannot be good. If ill, why hath it given me earnest of success commencing in a truth? I am Thane of Cawdor. If ill, why do I yield to that suggestion, whose horrid image doth unfix my hair and make my seated heart knock at my ribs against the use of nature? Present fears are less than horrible imaginings. My thought, whose murder yet is but fantastical, shakes so my single state of man that function is smothered in surmise, and nothing is but what is not.
Look how our partner's wrapped.
If chance me have me king, why, chance me crown me, without my stir.
New horrors do come upon him. Like our strange garments cleave not to their mould, but for the strain of youth.
Come what come may, time and the hour run through the roughest day.
Worthy Macbeth, we stay upon your leisure.
Give me your favour. My dull brain was wrought with things forgotten. Kind gentlemen, your pains are registered where every day I turn the leaf to read them. Let us toward the king. Think upon what hath chanced, and, at more leisure, the interim having waited, let us speak our free hearts to each other.
Very gladly.
Till then, enough. Come, friends.
Is execution done on Cawdor? Are not those in commission yet returned?
They had not yet come back, but I spoke with one that saw him die, who did report that, very frankly, he confessed his treasons, implored your highness's pardon, and set forth a deep repentance. Nothing in his life became him like believing it. He died as one that had been studied in his death, to throw away the dearest thing he owed as for a careless trifle.
There's no art to find the mind's construction in the face. He was a gentleman on whom I built an absolute trust. Worthiest cousin, the sin of my ingratitude even now is heavy on me. Thou art so far before that the swiftest wing of recompense has learned to overtake thee. Once thou hast less deserved, that the proportion of both thanks and payment might have been mine. Only I have left to say, more is thy due than more than all can pay.
The service and the loyalty I owe in doing it pays itself. Your highness's place is to receive our duties, and our duties are to your throne and state as children and servants, which do but what they should by doing everything safe toward your love and honour.
Welcome hither. I have begun to plant thee, and will labour to make thee full of growing. Noble banquet, let us know less deserved, nor must be known no less to have done so. Let me enfold thee and hold thee to my heart.
There if I grow, the harvest is your own.
My plenteous joys, wanton in fullness, seek to hide themselves in drops of sorrow. Sons, kinsmen, thanes, and you whose places are nearest, know that we will establish our estate upon our eldest, Malcolm, whom we name hereafter the Prince of Cumberland, which honour must not unaccompany and invest him only, but signs of nobleness, like stars, which find all deservers. From hence to reminisce and bind us further to you.
The rest is labour, which is not used for you. I'll be myself the harbinger and make joyful the hearing of my wife with news of your approach, so humbly take my leave.
My worthy Cawdor.
The Prince of Cumberland. That is a step upon which I must fall down, or else o'erleap. For in my way it lies. Stars, hide your fires. Let not light see my black and deep desires. The eye wink at the hand, yet let that be which the eye fears, when it is done to see.
True, worthy Banquo, he is full so valiant, and in his commendations I am fed. It is a banquet to me. Let's after him whose care has gone before to bid us welcome. It is a peerless kinsman.
I took it to the limit, but you didn't follow all the things you said. Were meaningless and hollow. I need a love that moves at full speed.
They met me in the day of success, and I have learned by the perfectest reports they have more in them than mortal knowledge. As I burned in desire to question them further, they made themselves air, into which they vanished. As I stood wrapped in the wonder of it, came missives from the king, who all hailed me Thane of Cawdor, by which title before these weird sisters saluted me and referred me to the coming of a time with Hail, King, that shalt be. This have I thought good to deliver thee, my dearest partner of greatness, that thou mightst not lose the dues of rejoicing by being ignorant of what greatness is promised thee. Lay it to thy heart and farewell. Glance thou art, and Cawdor, and shalt be what thou art promised. Yet do I fear thy nature. 'Tis too full of milk of human kindness to catch the nearest way. Thou wouldst be great, art not without ambition, without the illness that should attend it. What thou wouldst highly, that wouldst thou holily. Wouldst not play false, and yet wouldst wrongly win. Thou wouldst have great glance, that which cries, thus thou must do if thou have it, and that which rather thou dost fear to do than wishes should be undone. Hie thee hither, that I may pour my spirits in thine ear, and chastise with the valour of my tongue all that impedes thee from the golden round, which fate and metaphysical aid doth seem to have thee crowned withal. What are your tidings?
Duncan comes here tonight.
Thou art mad to say it. Is not thy master with him, who, were it so, would have informed for preparation?
So please you, it is true, our Thane is coming. One of my fellows had a speed of him, who almost teeth for breath.
Scarcely more than would make up his message. Give him tending. He brings great news. The raven himself is hoarse, that croaks the fatal entrance of Duncan under my battlements. Come, you spirits that tend on mortal thoughts. Unsex me here, and fill me from the crown to the toe, top full of direst cruelty. Make thick my blood. Stop up the access and passage to remorse, that no compunctious visitings of nature shake my fell purpose, nor keep peace between the effect and it. Come to my women's breasts, and take my milk for gall, you murdering ministers. Wherever, in your sightless substances, you wait on nature's mischief. Come, thick night, and pour thee in the dunnest smoke of hell.
But my keen knife see not the wound it makes, nor heaven peep through the blanket of the dark to cry, hold, hold. Great Glamis, worthy Cawdor, greater than both of your hail hereafter. Thy letters have transported me far beyond this ignorant present, and I feel now the future in the instant.
My dearest love, Duncan comes here tonight.
And when goes hence?
Tomorrow as he purposes.
Oh, never shall sun that morrow see. Your face, my Thane, is as a book where men may read strange matters. To beguile the time, look like the time. Your hand, your tongue, look like the innocent flower, but be the serpent under it. He that is coming must be provided for. And you shall leave this night's great business into my dispatch, which shall, in all our nights and days to come, give solely sovereign sway and masterdom.
We will speak further.
Only look up clear, to all to favour ever is to fear. Leave all the rest to me.
Down here at the bottom, when you're staring at all.
This castle hath a pleasant seat. The air nimbly and sweetly recommends itself unto our gentle senses.
This guest of summer, the temple-haunting martlet does approve, by his loved mansionry, that the heaven's breath smells wooingly here. No jutty, frieze, buttress, nor coign of vantage, but this bird hath made its pendant bed and procreant cradle. Where he most breeds and haunts, there I have observed the air is delicate.
See our honoured hostess. The love that follows us sometimes is our trouble, which still we thank is love. Herein I teach you how you shall bid God illness for your pain, and thanks for your trouble.
All our service in every point twice done and then done double, work poor and single business to contend against those honours, deep and broad, wherewith your majesty loads our house. For those of old and the late dignities heap up to them, we rest your hermits.
Where is the Thane of Cawdor? We coursed him at the heels, and had a purpose to be his purveyor. But he rides well, and his great love, sharp as his spur, hath holpen him to his home before us. Fair and noble hostess, we are your guests tonight.
Your servants ever shall have theirs themselves and what is theirs in count, to make their audit at your highness' pleasure, still to return your own.
Give me your hand. Conduct me to mine host. We loved him highly, and shall continue our graces towards him. By your leave, hostess.
If it were done, when 'tis done, then 'twere well it were done quickly. If the assassination could trammel up the consequence and catch with his Circe's success, that but this blow might be the be-all and the end-all here, but here, upon this bank control of time, we'll jump the life to come. But in these cases, we still have judgment here, which, being taught, return to plague the inventor. This
even-handed justice commends the ingredients of our poisoned chalice to our own lips. He's here in love and trust. First, as I am his kinsman and his subject, strong both against the deed. Then, as his host who should against his murderer shut the door and not bear the knife myself. Besides, this Duncan hath borne his faculties so meek, hath been so clear in his great office, his virtues shall plead like angels, trumpet-tongued against the deep damnation of his taking off. And pity, like a naked newborn babe striding the blast, or heaven's cherubim, horsed upon the sightless couriers of the air, shall blow the horrid deed in every eye, the tears shall run low in me. I have no spur to break the sounds of my intent, but only vaulting ambition, which o'erleaps itself and falls on other. And now, what news?
He is almost supped. Why have you left the chamber?
Have you asked for me?
Know you not he has?
We'll proceed no further in this business. He hath honoured me of late, and I have bought golden opinions from all sorts of people which would be worn, now in their newest gloss, not cast aside so soon.
Was the hope drunk wherein you dressed yourself? Hath it slept since, and wakes it now to look so green and pale at what it did so freely? From this time on such I count thy love. Art thou afeard to be the same in thine own act and valour as thou art in desire? Wouldst thou have that which thou esteemest the ornament of life, and live a coward in thine own esteem, letting I dare not wait upon I would, like the poor cat in the adage?
Prithee, peace, I dare do all that may become a man. Who dares do more is none.
What beast was it then that made you break this enterprise to me? When you durst do it, then you were a man. And to be more than what you were, you would be so much more the man. Nor time nor place did then adhere, and yet you would make both. They have made themselves, and their fitness now doesn't make you. I have given suck, and know how tender 'tis to love the babe that milks me. I would, while it was smiling in my face, have plucked the nipple from his boneless gums and dashed the brains out had I so sworn as you have done to this.
If we should fail,
We fail! But screw your courage to the sticking place, and we will not fail. When Duncan is asleep, where to the rather shall his day's hard journey soundly invite him, his two chamberlains will I with wine and wassail so convince that memory, the warder of the brain, shall be a few, and the receipt of reason a limbeck only. When in swinish sleep their drenched natures lie, as in a death, what cannot you and I perform upon the unguarded Duncan? What not put upon his spongy officers, who shall bear the guilt of our great quail?
bring forth men, children only, for thy undaunted metal should compose nothing but male. Will it not be received when we have marked with blood those sleepy two of his own chamber, and used their very daggers that they have done?
Who dares receive it other, as we shall let our griefs and clamour roar upon his death?
I am settled, and bend on each corporal agent to this terrible feat. Away, and mock the time with fairest show. False face must hide what false heart must know.
How goes the night, boy?
The moon is down. I have not heard the clock.
She goes down at 12.
I take 'tis later, sir.
There's husbandry in heaven. Their candles are all out. Take thee that too. A heavy summons lies like lead upon me, and yet I would not sleep. Merciful powers, restrain of me the cursed thoughts that nature gives way to in repose. Who's there?
A friend.
What, not yet at rest? Duncan's abed, and he hath been a most unusual pleasure. He hath sent forth great largesse to your offices. With this diamond, he greets your wife withal, by the name of Most kind hostess, and shut up in measureless content.
Being unprepared, our will became the servant to defect, which I should free abroad.
All's well. I dreamt the three weird sisters last night. To you they have shown some truth.
I think not of them, yet when we can entreat an hour to serve, we would spend it in some words upon that business, if you would grant the time.
At your kindest leisure.
If you shall cleave to my consent, when 'tis, it shall make honour for you.
So I lose none in seeking to augment it, but keep my bosom franchised and my allegiance clear. I shall be counselled.
Good repose the while.
Aye, sir, and the like to you.
Go, bid thy mistress, when my drink is ready, she strike upon the bell. Get into bed. Is this the dagger I see before me? The handle toward my hand? Come, let me clutch thee. I have thee not, and yet I see thee still. Art thou not fatal vision, sensible to feeling as to sight? Or art thou but a dagger of the mind, a false creation proceeding from the oppressive brain? I see thee yet, in form as palpable as this which now I draw. Thou marshallest me the way that I was going, and such an instrument I was to use. Mine eyes are made the fools of the other senses, or else worth all the rest. I see thee still, and on thy blade indulging gouts of blood, which was not so before. There's no such thing. It is the bloody business which informs thus to mine eyes. Now, over the one half world, nature seems dead. Wicked dreams abuse the curtain sleep. Witchcraft celebrates pale Hecate's murder, and withered murder, alarmed by his sentinel the wolf, whose howls his watch, thus with his stealthy pace, with Tarquin's ravishing strides, towards his design, moves like a ghost. A sure and firm set earth, fear not my steps, which way they walk, for fear thy very stones prate of my whereabouts, and take the present horror from the time which now suits with it. Was I threat, he lives. Words to the heat of deeds too cold breath gives. I go, and it is done. The bell invites me. Hear it not, Duncan, for it is a knell that summons thee to heaven or to hell.
That which hath made them drunk hath made me bold. What hath quenched them hath given me fire. Peace was the owl that shrieked. The fatal bellman that gives the sternest good night. He is about it. The doors are open and the surfeited grooms do mock their charge with snores. I have drugged their pulses that death and nature do contend about them whether they live or die.
Oh,
Alack! I'm afraid they have awaked and 'tis not done. The attempted of the deed confounds us. Hark! I laid their daggers ready. He could not miss them. Had he not resembled my father as he slept, I would have done it. My husband!
I've done the deed. Dost thou not hear a noise?
I heard the owl scream and the crickets cry. Did you not speak?
When?
Now.
As I descended?
Aye.
Hush! Who lies in the second chamber?
Donalbain.
Of this sorry sight.
A foolish thought to say a sorry sight.
There's one did laugh in his sleep, and one cried murder. That they did wake each other, but they did say the prayers and address them again to sleep.
There are two lodged together.
One cried, God bless us, and amen the other. As they had seen me with these hangman's hands, listening their fear, I could not say God bless us when they did say amen.
Consider it not so deep.
But wherefore can I not say amen? I have much need of blessing, and amen stuck in my throat.
These deeds must not be thought after these ways, so it will make us mad.
thought I heard a voice crying, sleep no more. Macbeth does murder sleep. The innocent sleep, sleep that knits up the ravelled sleeve of care, the death of each day's life, balm of hurt minds, chief nourisher in life's
What do
feast.
you mean?
Still it cried, sleep no more to all the house. Lambs have murdered sleep, and therefore Codder shall sleep no more. Macbeth shall sleep no more.
Who was it that thus cried? Why, worthy thane, you do unbend your noble strength to think so brain sickly of things. Go get some water and wash this filthy witness from your hand. Why did you bring the daggers from the place? They must lie there. Go, carry them and smear the sleepy grooms with blood.
I'll go no more. I am afraid to look what I have done. Look on it again, I dare not.
Infirm of purpose. Give me the daggers. The sleeping of the dead but of pictures. 'Tis the eye of childhood that bears the painted devil. If he do bleed, I'll smear the faces of the grooms with blood, for it must seem their guilt.
Black! Whence is that knocking? How is it when every noise appalls me? Hands are here. They pluck out mine eyes. Will all great Neptune's ocean wash this blood clean from my hand? No. This my hand will rather the multitudinous seas incarnadine, making the green one red.
My hands are of your colour, but I shame to wear a heart so white. I hear a knocking at the south entry. Retire me to our chamber. A little water clears us of the deep. How easy it is then! Your constancy hath left you unattended. Hark! More knocking. Get on your nightgown, lest occasion call us and show us to be watchers. Be not so poorly in your thoughts.
To know my deeds were best not know myself. Wake Duncan with thy knocking, I would thou couldst.
Oh, here's a knocking indeed. If a man of a porter of hell gate, he should. Well, he should have old turning the key. Knock, knock. Who's there in the name of Beelzebub? Here's a farmer that hanged herself on the expectation of plenty. I'll come in time, farmer. Have napkins enough about you. Here you'll sweat for it. Knock, knock. Who's there in our devil's name? Here's an equivocator that could swear in both the scales against either scale, that committed treason enough for God's sake, yet could she not equivocate to heaven? Oh, come in, equivocator. Knock, knock. Who's there? But here's an English tailor. Come hither for stealing out of a French hose. Oh, come in, tailor. Here you may roast your goose. Knock, knock. Who's there? Oh, this place is too cold for hell. Oh, devil porter it no further. I had thought to have let in some of all professions that go the primrose way to the everlasting bonfire. Anon! Anon! I pray. Remember the porter.
Was it so late, friend, ere you went to bed, that you do lie so late?
Faith, sir, we was carousing till the second cock. The drink, sir, is a great provoker of three things.
What three things does drink provoke?
I'll marry, sir. Nose painting, sleep, and, urine. Lecturing, sir, it both provokes and unprovokes. It provokes the desire, it takes away the performance. Therefore, sir, much drink may be said to be an equivocator with lecturing. It makes him and it mars him, sets him on and takes him off, persuades him and disarms him. Yeah, makes him stand to and not stand to. If not, sir, equivocates him into a sleep and giving him the lie. Leaves him.
I believe drink gave thee the lie last night.
No, that it did, sir, that it did in the very throat of me. But I requited him for his lie. And I think, being too strong for him, although he Took up my leg sometime, yet I might shift to cast him.
Is thy master stirring?
Yeah, I see her knocking as well.
Good morning, noble sir.
Good morrow, both.
Is Duncan stirring, worthy thing?
Not yet.
He did command me to call timely upon him. I have almost slipped the hour.
I'll show you to them.
I know 'tis a joyful trouble to you, yet 'tis a trouble nonetheless.
The labour we delight in physics pain. This is the door.
I'll make so bold as to call, for 'tis my limited service.
Goes Duncan hence today?
He does, he did a point, so.
The night has been unruly, where we lay our chimneys were blown down, and as they say, lamentings heard in the air, strange screams of death, and prophesying with accents terrible of dire combustion and confused events. New hatched to the woeful time, the obscure bird clamored the livelong night. Some sang, the earth was feverish and did shake.
'Twas a rough night.
My young remembrance cannot parallel a fellow to it.
Oh, horror! 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 Tongue no part cannot conceive nor name thee.
What's the matter?
Your confusion hath made his masterpiece. Most sacrilegious murder hath broke open the Lord's anointed temple and stole thence the life of the building.
What is it you say? The life?
I approach the chamber and destroy your sight with a new Gordon. See and then speak for yourselves. Awake! Awake! Murder, treason, banquet, Donovan, awake! I'll shake off this daddy sleep, death's counterfeit and look upon death itself. Up and see the great doom's image. Malcolm, Banquo, Donovan, and from your graves rise like sprites and walk to countenance this horror. Right to the hell!
What is the reason that such a hideous grumpy calls to parley the sleepers of the house? Speak!
Oh, gentle ladies, it's not for you to hear what I must speak. No repetition on the lady's ears would murder as it fell. Oh, Banquo, our royal master's murdered.
What? In our house?
Too cruel anywhere. Dear doth, I prithee, contradict thyself and say it is not so.
Had I but died an hour before this chance, I had lived a blessed time. Apart from this instant, there's nothing serious in mortality. All is but toys. Renown and grace is dead. The wine of life is drawn, and the mere lees is left this vault to brag of.
What is amiss?
You are and do not know it. The spring, the head, the fountain of your blood is stopped. The very source of it is stopped.
Your royal father's murdered.
By whom?
Those of his chamber, as it seemed, had done it. Their hands and their faces were embellished with blood. So were their daggers, which unwiped we found upon their pillows. They stared and were distracted. No man's life was to be trusted with them.
Oh, yet I do repent me of my fury that I did kill them.
Wherefore did you so?
Who can be wise, amazed, temperate and furious, loyal and neutral in a moment? No man. The expedition of my violent love outran the pauser, reason. Here lay Duncan, his silver skin laced with his golden blood, and his gashed stabs looked like a breach in nature for ruin's wasteful entrance. They're the murderers, steeped in the colours of their trade, their daggers unmannerly breached with gore. Who could refrain that had heart to love and in that heart courage to make his love known?
Help me, Hans.
Look to the lady.
Why we hold our tongues? The moment we claim is our good for ours.
What should be spoken here? Where are our fate? Hey, in an hour all the Russian sees us. Let's away. Our tears are not yet through.
Nor our strong sorrow upon the foot of motion.
Look to the lady. And when we have our naked frailties hid that suffer from exposure, then shall we meet and question this most bloody piece of work to know it further. Our fears and scruples shake us. In the great hand of God I stand, and thence against the great undivulged pretense I fight of treasonous malice.
So I.
So all!
Let's briefly put on manly readiness and meet in the hall together.
Well consented.
What will you do? Let's not consort with them to show unfelt sorrows in office, which the false man is easy. I'll to England.
To Ireland, I.
shaft that's shot hath not yet lighted, and the safest way is to avoid the aim. Therefore to horse, let's not be dainty of leave-taking, but shift away. There's warrant in that theft which steals itself when there's no mercy left.
How goes the world, sir, now?
Why, see you not?
Well, is it not known who did this more than bloody deed?
Those that Macbeth hath slain.
Ah, alas the day. What good could they pretend?
They were sovereign. Malcolm and Donald and the two sons are stolen away and fled, which puts upon them the suspicion of the deed.
Gates nature still. Thriftless ambition that wilt raving up thine own life's needs. Then, 'tis most likely the sovereignty will fall upon Macbeth.
He is already named and gone to Scone to be invested.
And where is Duncan's body?
Guard to Colin Kill, the sacred storehouse of his predecessor and guardian of their bones.
And will you to Scone?
No, cousin.
Well, I will be there.
Well, may you see things well done there. And you, lest our old robes sit easier than our new.
Farewell.
Thou hast it now. King, Cawdor, Glamis all, just as the weird women promised. And I fear thou playest most foully for it. Yet it was said, it should not stand in thy posterity, but that myself shall be the root and father of many kings. If there come from some truth from them, as upon thee, Macbeth, their speeches shine, why then, by the verities in thee made good, may they not become my oracles as well, and set me up in hope. Hush, no more.
Here's our chief guest.
If he had been forgotten, it had been as a gap in our great feast, and all thing unbecoming.
Tonight we hold a solemn supper, sir, and I'll request your presence.
Let your highness command upon me, wherein thy duties will, with a most indissoluble tie, be forever knit.
Elijah this afternoon?
Aye, my lord.
We should have else desired your good advice, which still has been both grave and prosperous in this day's council, but we'll take tomorrow. Is it far you ride?
I will become a dart borrower of the night for an hour or twain.
Fill not our feast.
I shall not, my good lord.
We hear our bloody cousins are bestowed in England and in Ireland, not confessing their cruel parricide, filling their heroes with strange invention, but of that tomorrow, when therewithal we shall have cause of state craving us jointly. I to your horse, adieu, till you return at night. Goes Fleance with you.
Aye, my good lord, our time does wait upon us.
I wish your horses swift and sure of foot, and so I do commend you to their backs. Farewell. Let every man be master of his time till 7 at night. To make society the sweeter welcome, we will keep ourselves till supper time alone. Well then, God be with you. Sarah, a word with you. Attend those men, our pleasure.
They are, my lord, without the palace gate.
Bring them before us. To be thus is nothing, but to be safely thus. Our fears in Banquo stick deep, and in his royalty of nature reigns that which would be feared. 'Tis much he dares, and to that dauntless temper of his mind he hath a wisdom that doth guide his flower to act in safety. There is none but he whose being I do fear, and under him my genius is rebuked, as it is said, Mark Antony's was by Caesar. He chid the sisters when first they put the name of king upon me, and bade them speak to him, and then, prophet-like, they hailed him, father to a line of kings. Upon my head they placed a fruitless crown, and put a barren sceptre in my gripe, thence to be wrenched with an unlineal hand, no son of mine succeeding. If it be so, for Banquo's issue have I filed my mind. For them, the gracious Duncan, have I murdered. Put rancours in the vessel of my peace, only for them, and mine eternal jewel given to the common enemy of man, to make them kings. The seed of Banquo kings. Rather than so, come faith into the list, and champion me to the utterance. Who's there? I'll go to the door and stay there till we call. Was it not yesterday we spoke together?
It was, so please your highness.
Well then, now have you considered of my speeches? Know that it was he in the times past which held you so under fortune, which you thought had been our innocent self. This I made good to you in our last conference, passed in probation with you, how you were born in hand, how crossed the instruments who wrought with them, and all things else which might to half a soul, and to a notion praised, say, thus did Banquo.
You made it known to us.
I did so, and went further, which is now our point of second meeting. Do you find your patience so predominant in your nature that you can let this go? Are you so gospelled to pray for this good man and for his issue, whose heavy hand has bowed you to the grave and beggared yours forever?
We are men, my liege.
Aye. In the catalogue, ye go for men. As hounds and greyhounds, mongrels, spaniels, curs, shucks, water rugs are clipped, all by the name of dogs. The valued file distinguishes the swift, the slow, the subtle, the housekeeper, the hunter. Every one, according to the gift which bounteous nature hath in him closed, whereby he does receive particular additions and build and writes them all alike, and so of men. Now, if you have a station in the file, not in the worst rank of man would say, and I will put that business in your bosoms whose execution takes your enemy off, grapples you to the heart and love of us, who are our health but sickly in his life, which in his death were perfect.
I am one, my liege, whom the vile blows and buffets of the world have so incensed that I am reckless what I do to spite the world.
And I another, so weary with disaster, come to fortune, I would set my life on any chance to mend it or be rid of.
Both of you know Banquo was your enemy.
True, my lord.
So is he mine? And in such bloody distance that every minute of his being thrusts against my nearest of life. And though I could with barefaced power sweep him from my sight and bid my will about you, yet I must know. For certain friends that are both his and mine, whose loves I may not drop. Perhaps wailed his fall, who I myself struck down. Thence it is that I to your assistance do make love, masking the business from the common eye for sundry weighty reasons.
You shall, my lord, perform what you command us.
Don't allow
Your spirits shine through you. Within this hour at most, I will advise you where to plant yourselves, acquaint you with the perfect spy of the time, the moment on it, for it must be done tonight. And something from the palace. Always thought that I required a clearness, and with him to leave no rubs nor botches in the work. Fleance, his son, that keeps him company, whose absence is no less material to me than his father's. must embrace the fate of that dark hour. Resolve yourselves apart, I'll come to you anon.
We are resolved, my lord.
I'll be with thee straight, abide within. It is concluded. Banquo, thy soul's flight, if it find heaven, must find it out tonight.
Is Banquo gone from court? Aye, madam, but returns again tonight. Say to my lord I was attend his leisure for a few words. Madam, I will. Naught's had, all spent, where our desire is got without content. 'Tis safer to be that which we destroy, than in destruction dwell in doubtful joy. How now, my lord? Why do you keep alone the sorriest fancies your companions making, using these thoughts which should indeed have died, with them they think on? Things without remedy should be without regard. What's done is done.
We have scorched the snake, not killed it. She'll close and be herself, lest our poor malice remains in danger of her former tooth. Let the frame of things disjoint. Both the worlds suffer, else we will eat our meal in fear and sleep in the affliction of these terrible dreams that shake us nightly. Better be with the dead, whom wait again our peace, have sent to peace, than on the torture of the mind to lie in restless ecstasy. Duncan is in his grave. After life's fitful fever, he sleeps well. Treason has done his worst. No steel nor poison, malice domestic, foreign levy, nothing can touch him further.
Come, gentle my lord, sleek o'er your rugged looks. Be bright and jovial among your guests tonight.
So shall I, love, and so I pray be you. Let your remembrance apply to Banquo. Present him eminence both with eye and tongue. And safe the while that we must lave our honours in these flattering streams and make our faces visits to our hearts, disguising what they are.
You must leave this.
Full of scorpions is my mind, dear wife. Thou know'st that Banquo in his fleals lives.
But in them nature's copy do not return.
There's comfort yet. They are assailable. Then be thou jocund. Ere the bat has flown his cloistered flight, ere to black Hecate's summons the shard-born beetle with his drowsy hums hath rung night's yawning peal, there shall be done a deed of dreadful note.
What's to be done?
Be innocent of the knowledge, dearest Chuck, till thou applauds the deed. Come, sealing night. Scarf up the tender eye of pitiful Bane, with thy bloody and invisible hand, cancel and tear to pieces that great bond which keeps me pale. Thou marvelst at my words, but hold thee still, things bad begun made strong themselves by ill, so prithee, go with me.
But who did bid thee join with us?
Macbeth. She needs not our mistrusts, and she delivers our officers and what we have to do to the direction just.
Stand with us then. The west yet glimmers with some streaks of day, now stirs the later traveller apace. And near approaches the subject of our watch.
Ha! Give us a light there, ho!
Then to see, for the others are within the expectation already are in the court.
A light! Ah, it's here! Stand to it!
It will be rain tonight!
Let it come down!
Fly, treachery, fly, Cleo! Fly, fly, fly! Thou mayst revenge, O slave!
Who did strike out the light?
Was not well.
There's but one down. The sun is fled.
Well, then
hearty welcome.
Thanks, Your Majesty.
Thanks, Your Majesty.
Ourself will mingle with society and play the humble host. Our hostess keeps her state, but in best time we will require her welcome.
Pronounce it for me, sir, to all our friends, for my heart speaks. They are welcome.
See? They encounter thee with their hearts' thanks. Both sides are even, here I'll sit in the midst. Anon we'll drink and measure the table round. There's blood on that face.
His bedpost then.
It's better be without than he within. Is he, dispatched?
I, my lord, his throat is cut. That I did for him.
Thou art the best of the cutthroats. Yet he's good that didn't like Profleons. If thou didst it, thou art the nonpareil.
Most royal sir, Flareworks escaped.
Comes my fit again. I had else been perfect, whole as the marble, bounded as the rock, as broad and general as the casing air, but now uncaverned, cribbed, confined, bound into saucy ducks and fears. But Banquo's safe.
I, my lord, safe in a ditch with lies of 20 trenchant gashes on his head, the least a death to nature.
Thanks for that. There the growing serpent lies. The worm that's fled hath nature that in time will venom breed. No teeth for the present. Yet be gone. Tomorrow we'll hear ourselves again.
My royal lord, you do not give the cheer. The feast is sold, that is not often vouched, while 'tis a making 'tis given with welcome. To feed were best at home, from thence the source to meat is ceremony.
Sweet remembrancer. Now, good digestion, wait on appetite, and health on both.
May it please your highness sit.
And here have been our country's honour roofed with the grace of person of our Banquo present, whom we are rather challenged for unkindness than pity from mistrust.
Oh, his absence, sir, lays blame upon this promise. Please, if your highness, to grace us with your royal company.
The table's full.
Here is a place reserved.
Where?
Here, my good lord.
Which of you have done this?
What, my good lord?
Let us not say I did it. Never shake thy gory locks at me.
Gentlemen, rise, he is not well.
Sit, worthy friends. My lord is often thus and hath been from his youth. Pray you, keep seat. The fit is momentary. Upon a moment he will again be well. If you do note him, you shall offend him and extend his passion. Feed, drink, and regard him not. Are you a man?
I am a bold one, which they look on that which might appall the devil.
Proper stuff. This is the very painting of your fear. This is the air-drawn dagger which you said led you to Duncan. These flaws and starts, impostors to true fear. Why do you make such faces when all is done you look but on a stool?
Prithee, see there. Behold, look, lo. What say you? Why, what care I, if thou canst not speak too? If carnal houses in our graves must send those that we bury back, our monuments shall be the maws of kites.
What, quite unmanned in folly?
If I stand here, I saw him.
Fire, for shame!
Blood hath been shed ere now, in the olden time. Ere human statute purged the gentle wheel, aye, and since too murders have been performed, too terrible for the ear. The times have been that when the brains were out, the man would die, and there an end. But now they rise again with 20 mortal murders on their crowns and push us from our stools. This is more strange than such a murder is.
My royal lord, your noble friends do lack you.
I do forget. Do not muse at me, my most worthy friends. I have a strange infirmity, which is nothing to those that know me. Come, love and health to all, then I'll sit down. Give me some wine. Fill. I drink to the general joy of the whole table, and to our dear friend, Banquo, whom we miss, if he were here. To all in him we thirst, and all to all. Our duty is avaunt and quit my sight, let the earth hide thee. Thy bones are marrows, thy blood is cold. Thou hast no speculation in those eyes which thou dost glare with.
Think of this, good peers, but as a thing of custom, 'tis no other. Only it spoils the pleasure of the time.
What man dare? I dare. Approach thou like the rugged Russian bear, the armed rhinoceros, or the hurricane tiger. Take any shape but that, and my firm nerve shall never tremble. Or be alive again, and dare me to the desert with thy sword. If trembling I inhabit then, protest me the baby of a girl. Hence, horrible shadow, and real mockery, hence. Aye. So, being gone,
such things be and overcome us like a summer's cloud without our special wonder. You make me strange, even to the disposition I owe, when now I think you can behold such sights and keep the natural ruby of your cheek when mine is blanched with fear.
What sights, my lord? I pray you, speak not. He grows worse and worse. At once, good night. Stand not upon the order of your going, but go at once.
Good night and better health.
A kind good night to all.
It will have blood, they say. Blood will have blood. Stones have been known to move and trees to speak. Augurs and understood relations have by magpies and chucks and rooks brought forth the secretest man of blood. What is the night?
Almost at odds with morning, which is which?
How sayest thou that Macduff denies his person at our great bidding?
Did you send to him, sir?
I hear it by the way, but I will send. There's not a one of them, but in his house I keep a servant free. I will tomorrow, and betimes I will, to the weird sisters. More shall they speak, for now I am bent to know by the worst means, the worst. For my own good, all causes shall give way. I am now stepped in blood so far that should I wait no more, returning were as tedious as go on. Strange things I have inherited with the hand, which must be acted ere they may be scanned.
You lack the season of all natures. Sleep.
Come. Will to sleep. My strange and self-abuse is the initiate fear that wants hard use. We are yet but young indeed.